Hey everybody, what's up? Corey here, back again with another review. This time I'm looking at Hell Pie. So Hell Pie is a 3D platformer with some obscene jokes and references. I'm telling you, this is a game not for kids. Hell Pie takes place in hell, and they have turned hell into a corporate environment, which at the top is kind of funny and in a dark humor sense. You definitely have to have a bit of dark humor to get the fullness of the game and what it's trying to portray humorously. But anyways, back to the story. You find out very quickly that you are in hell, and you have been tasked with helping the chef make a pie for Satan's birthday. And in order to do that, you have to gather ingredients. You are thrown into the kitchen to go look for your first ingredient, where you are given a cherub, I think is what they're called, that is attached to you via chain. Now, this is important because this is how you are going to navigate and play throughout the rest of the game. This cherub allows you to swing mid-air, and this is going to come in very handy and necessary in order to get through some of these platforming sections. Now, along the way, there are different upgrades and abilities that you can get to change the way that you will platform, but swinging mid-air using your cherub is going to be the biggest one of them all. Now, after you get your cherub, you're going to be pretty much presented with several different hub areas, and within each of these hub areas is a level, actually 3 levels, maybe some other mini games thrown in there as well, and each one of them is going to contain at the end of it an extra ingredient that you need. And as you can imagine, the whole point of the game is to get enough ingredients for the pie and complete the game. And that is the gist of what Hell Pie is doing. The part that makes Hell Pie special, in my opinion, is the platforming. 3D platforming, to me, is something very hard to get right. The camera is always going to be an issue with 3D platformers, and Hell Pie does have its times with the camera, but I thoroughly enjoyed the platforming in this game. You will make some saves, if you will, when you accidentally miss a landing or you kind of just fall off of it. You can do some very spectacular and amazing platforming work to get back onto safe ground using this mid-air swinging techniques. Now, it doesn't hurt it that I actually kind of dig the humor. It's funny in a very dark sense. There's a lot of feces references, so be warned for that. Definitely not a game for children, not just for the feces, but there are some grotesque things that you do. The upgrades I mentioned earlier, well, in order to get the upgrades, you have to sacrifice some unilambs that you will collect. Which brings me to the collectibles. This would not be a complete 3D platformer without its share of collectibles, and this game has enough of those to go around and then some. The unilambs I already mentioned are going to be for getting some upgrades to your horns. Your horns allow you to access new areas and just get around in different manners. There's also going to be a currency that you will collect that is just out there in the way. Like, it will have a path of these coins that you will collect, and those go towards the outfits. Completely optional. They don't do anything for you, but there are stores at each of these hub worlds where you can purchase outfits for yourself or your cherub partner. Additionally, there is a skill tree, and you will have to collect different canned meats in order to complete that skill tree. Now, these skills will include things like having extra swings before touching the ground, extra hearts, things like that. Very useful stuff in the game. Now, some of the things I don't like about the game, keeping it with collectibles, are that there are too many collectibles. There are more collectibles than you need to upgrade, at least the skill tree. And in most senses, that would be fine. And actually, it's for the casual gamer, it is fine. But 100%ing the game, there comes a point where you are then collecting different things that really don't mean anything anymore once you've maxed out your skill tree. And to me, that kind of takes away from how fun and important it was to search those out. The second thing, still on collectibles, is that there are no indications of where they are. And now I know they don't need to be given to me 100%, but there are collectibles that I'm trying to mop up the 100%, and I've combed through levels 2-3 times over, and I can't find the last little bit just for this last 10% of the game to get 100% completion. I've already completed the game. I've maxed out the skill tree. I just want to see that 100% completion, and it has gotten tiring trying to look for, the last collectible in this one little level that will ultimately not get me anything other than completion percentage. And that kind of was a bummer. But ultimately, I really, really enjoyed my time with Hell Pie. I'm obviously going to recommend this to 3D platforming fans. However, take a look at some videos, see if the humor is for you. If you don't or won't appreciate the humor, then probably pass. It, like I said, it is for a mature audience, so that kind of goes hand in hand with how much you're going to enjoy the game, where in this game, it is thrown at you all the time. You are given exactly what it says on the tin in that case. But if that does appeal to you, or you think that it won't hinder your time with the game, absolutely check it out. It's a blast to play through, and the platforming is some of the best I've seen in a 3D platforming game. So again, yeah, Hell Pie, really good. I would probably even have to give it
4 out of 5 sacrifices.
But that's it for me and for this week's review. Be sure to check xboxtavern.com for each and every review that we put out each and every week. I've been Corey. I'll see you next time.